are here at Victor's Midnight Cafe, and it's located here in the Ohio State campus area, Neal and High Street. Anybody not familiar with Columbus, Ohio. But I've just dropped in to catch a set with Jamie Lynn Smith.
Just Jamie Lynn.
Just Jamie Lynn?
No,
okay.
no last name.
Okay, cool.
Like Madonna.
Like Madonna? Okay, cool.
Yes.
Well, I'm just riding away with Dave, so I'm with you on that. And, you know, I stopped in because I saw a great article in the other paper about yourself and your band. And your band, what's the name of your band?
My band is called Fort Knox.
Fort Knox,
Yeah.
cool. And you guys played tonight, and it was a little happy hour show. So why don't you let the audience know all about tonight and what's going on here at Victor's Cafe. And then if you want to, go ahead and introduce your guys right now, two of the guys in the group right here.
Oh, I'd be happy to. This is Ryan Combs. He's my bass player.
How you doing, Ryan? Pretty good.
And we've got Chris Bechtel on drums.
Chris?
Hi.
You're real talkative, right?
I know. One guy, I think everybody else had a hot date because they bounced. So I don't know where they are. And I'd be ashamed to say probably if I did find out. So I don't know what happened to them. But there are three more players in the band. We've got Stephen Moeller, who plays dobro. We've got Caleb Powers on guitar and banjo.
Okay.
And Chase Potter on fiddle.
Okay, good.
So.
And you guys played a nice little set tonight.
Thank you.
I know the turnout's probably not as good as what you would like, but you got to remember the weather's bad outside.
Oh, I think considering that we're like knee deep in the middle of a blizzard, it wasn't too bad, you know?
Yeah.
And I was happy with that article.
Yeah, right. Yeah. In the article, and I think that as the promotion gets out there and everybody knows about you guys being here playing and stuff, I definitely think the crowds will show up because this is a great little joint. People like live music, and I think what you guys are doing is great, and so hopefully I can help a little bit, do some more
Thank you. We appreciate
PR
it.
and stuff like that. And why don't you go ahead and let everybody know, because this could be a little YouTube video, and I do a lot of these things, so why don't you let everybody know about yourself and your background, and then we'll kind of go from there.
Oh, gee. Everything?
Well, not everything.
Okay.
Just I always keep things PG-13. So.
Okay. Well, I'm pretty sure my background is probably just flat out PG.
Okay.
I'm originally from Knox County, Ohio. I spent the last, probably 10 or 15 years in New York and Los Angeles.
Okay.
I worked as a production manager in theater and film, so I traveled quite a bit.
Okay.
And I came back to Ohio not too long ago for family reasons.
Yeah.
But while I was in Brooklyn, I was really fortunate to sort of get pulled into the Brooklyn country scene.
Yeah.
And I had no idea that such a thing existed. A friend of mine took me to see a couple of different shows, and the more I looked for it, the more I found it. And so I sang at a random open night, and then I just noticed that there weren't any other women performing.
Okay.
So I was the only girl on stage. I was the only instrumentalist. And so I decided to start an event called Honky Tonk Angels.
Right.
That event is once a month. I get all these women who do neo-traditional country music together in New York City. And so we do a show. There was one last night that I missed because I wanted to be here.
Okay.
But my friend Rosie co-produces that with me, and her band, the Rosie Nolan Band, does a real fine job.
Okay.
So she covered for me. And that was sort of the catalyst for when I came out here. I knew I wanted to do something similar.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that there are enough women working in traditional country music for me to just do a women's show.
Okay.
And I think that there are a lot of great acts out there that are mixed. Like the Tin Hearts have a female pianist, keyboardist. Dottie and Clyde are a man and a woman performing together. So I just wanted to do more like straight drive honky tonk. And my songwriting has really moved more in that direction.
Okay.
So this Honky Tonk Happy Hour that we're doing is twice a month, the first and third Sunday of the month, here at Victorian's Midnight Cafe.
Yeah, and I encourage everybody in the Central Ohio area to drop on in. And I don't know, is there a charge or is it free? Or?
No, it is free. We just live off tips, and we're looking for a couple sponsorships. So if anybody's out there wanting to do a beer sponsorship or a cologne sponsorship, I mean, we've got definitely some men in my band who could be underwear models. So I think that would be ideal.
Okay.
Yeah, I won't do it, but if the boys want to, they can do whatever they want.
Yeah. Okay.
I want to keep my security clearance for military intelligence.
Okay, and how that's funny. Now, how did you hook up with some of the guys in the group then and stuff?
I owe all of this basically to Matt Sullivan. He's the lead guy for the Tin Hearts.
Okay.
I am using his bass player, Ryan, who's in my band now. He told me about Chase, who told me about Chris.
Okay.
I saw I went to go see Chris, and I saw Steven, and I took him instead, and then he introduced me to Caleb. So a lot of it, though, has been sort of verified as like, these are really good people to work with. They're not crazy. They're not going to steal your wallet.
That's always good to know.
Yeah, as far as we know, they don't have a real horrible criminal record.
Okay.
So, and I think that
you know how those musicians are anyhow, so
well,
yeah.
What works best is when I'm the worst musician in the band. Really. And so I just feel really, really fortunate to have them all willing to play my music and to do this.
And, we had talked briefly, when I first came in and I mentioned stuff like that about the type of music you enjoy and some of the country artists. And a couple weeks ago, I had a chance to go out and meet a real country music, I call him country music hero, Dale Watson, and his brand of music that he calls, I hope I pronounce this right, Ameripolitan.
Yeah.
And go ahead and comment about Dale, because you like his music too, and are you pretty much along those type of lines, or how do you differ, like, say, from Dale Watson?
Oh, gee. Well, for one thing, he's a whole lot better than me. That's really difficult. I'm flattered that you would compare our styles, but
yeah.
I think probably, Countrypolitan has a resonance to it. It refers to a specific period in the 1980s when music was moving in a more pop direction, so that it would cross over. Okay. So to me, it speaks to a time when country was really starting to lose its resonance as a form and really be compromised. But the one thing I've noticed about country music as I study it more and more, and perhaps Mr. Watson or one of my Honky Tonk heroes, Wayne Hancock, might agree with me, is that all the time there's people making a ton of bad music, and there are people making some really great songs that stand out. When you go back and listen to music from 50 years ago, you listen to the stuff that was a #1 hit or a really good song. You might find a good B-side, but we don't have to sit through the stuff from 40 years ago that was terrible because it was sort of Darwined out for us. So looking back on the past, I think it's easier to say that this was a golden era or that was a golden era. I think that this is the soundtrack of this country. And that we're constantly recreating that era over and over again. So I'm flattered to be compared to someone like Dale Watson. Stylistically, yeah.
Well, I think the bottom line is that I think there's a real niche, and I know that one of the things I saw in the article is that you are aware, and I know I've been aware, and I've been told by a lot more people, that Central Ohio has a real hotbed of musicians, and of course I didn't realize that there's a little niche here for the real old school type country like you guys like and stuff like that. So I'm excited to kind of get more familiar myself with that niche. I appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule, and I know you've got a date to go see another country star tonight. So.
I'd love to call it a date, but it ain't a date yet.
Let everybody know who you're going to see.
I've got a ticket to go see Jamie Johnson that's burning a hole in my purse right now. So, yeah, I'm excited about that show. And he's a good, Waylon Jennings traditionalist. Yeah. The one thing I'd say that's unique about Ohio is it's a state that people migrated to from Appalachia, and that vein is really strong. We call it Grove City, Grove-tucky.
Yeah, right.
You can't hardly throw a rock and not hit somebody from Kentucky, Virginia, West Virginia, even Tennessee. So when people, I know in my family, in my experience, people migrated north and brought their music standards with them. Okay. So I think that's one of the reasons. And we're lucky to have a good classic radio station, The Hawk, WHOK out of Newark, that does a pretty good job.
Yeah, right. Yeah. They play more traditional type country. And I also know we do have a resident whenever he's in town, country music hero, Dwight Yoakam, and I always enjoy seeing him.
And Chubby Howard, out of Dayton. He is a lexicon, an encyclopedia of country music. If you go see any show, go down to Checkers, and I'll email you about it. Shoot, I can't remember. But he plays every Saturday night, and he has a radio show that he does on Saturdays and Sundays that you can get on the internet. Oh, okay. Just Google Chubby Howard, and he's one of the best pedal steel players in the world.
Good, great guy. Well, listen, we'll go ahead and wrap up. Let me see how we do on time. Yep, I'm at my time limit. So we'll go ahead and wrap up, guys. Thanks a lot for joining us. And we'll look forward to seeing you guys again. Jamie Lynn, thank you very much.
I appreciate it. Pleasure to
meet you. Been riding away with Dave. I know that makes everybody laugh.